On Second Shot, we tackle 2 new headlines every week to find out what kind of wisdom the world is dishing out today. And we want you to be a part of that. When you see a headline you want to take a second shot at, or if you're looking for advice, or just want to tell us what you think of the show, email us at secondshotcast@gmail.com. If you like what you hear, rate us on iTunes. This helps us move up in the ratings so more people will see us. And if you want to hear more, subscribe to the show so that the new episodes will get straight to you every single Friday. We love you. Thanks for listening, and enjoy.
Heath Oaks is a millennial mogul whose ignorance on fire led him to fail his way to success. Jenny Anchondo is an Emmy Award-winning journalist whose sharp eye and biting wit have led to her storied career in television. Together, they tackle today's headlines in a way only an odd couple with a dash of perfect opposite can. So kick back, relax, and join the conversation. This is Second Shot with your hosts, Heath and Jenny.
Well, happy late 4th of July, everybody. How are you?
Yes, happy 4th of July. I think that holidays should be celebrated all week long, so the fun continues. A lot of people will have, people who work normal jobs, and I don't know how many of our listeners work normal jobs, but they'll have off the holiday and then the day after, and then, the weekend, so they'll make like a fun little 4-day weekend out of it.
We got a short little small crew, small but mighty. We got Zach and,
Already messing
the
this thing
habit.
up.
We got Matt and Ginny because Zach has left us because he's not cool enough to be here today.
No,
Zach.
he's taking an extended vacation, I guess.
Yeah, I mentioned those people with normal jobs who take off the holiday the day after and the weekend.
Yeah.
Here's looking at you, Zach.
You know what's one of the most fun about around July 4th for me?
What?
Is I can buy a lot of black cats and save them up to scare you and other people for the rest of the year.
That's not what the 4th of July is about.
Yes, it is. There's nothing better than hiding when somebody's sleeping and putting blackjacks under the bed and lighting them and pop, 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 them getting woke up to it.
Who does that?
I do.
Like in the house?
Yes, everywhere. Yeah. It's great.
Were you a big fireworks kid growing up?
I like the Roman candle wars. I like shooting Roman candles at my friends.
So dumb stuff.
And this is why fireworks are banned in most parts of the United States. Now we know. The rest of us who were just doing like those little screaming memes, I don't even know if those are what they're called. Like the rest of us who were just innocent sparkler holders can't use them because the Heath Oaks of the world
we would
were
wrap
having
foil
wars
around the sparklers and stuff, and it made a bomb.
Oh my gosh!
When you wrap foil around sparklers and stuff and light them, it makes a bomb.
Know that.
Oh yeah,
this is
big.
why we can't have nice things.
We're teaching people things here.
Yeah. Have you ever been hit with a Roman candle?
Babe, no. Like I said, I was an innocent sparkler holder.
Matt, have you ever been hit with a Roman candle?
No, I've never been hit with a Roman candle. It's come close though. I've definitely been on the receiving end of some shots.
Yes, we purposely shot them at each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was fun.
People, do not do this.
We had BB gun
do
wars.
Not. Oh my gosh, this has gone off the rails. This is not okay. People listen to this with their children.
We had nothing else to do.
This is true. This is why you had to move to the city.
Now, I just did the standard put all my G.I. Joes on top of some dirt and blow them up and things like that.
Firefighters everywhere are cringing. They're like, "Here, these are the people.
Gosh, yeah.
These are the people who start all these fires.
These are the people that they warn you about." Yeah.
Just kids listening, don't do this at home. But Matt, look up the sparklers with foil. It's a great bomb.
All right, I'll take a look at that.
Okay, you guys. So since Zach's off, I'm going to be doing our headlines for today. And the first one is a golf headline. And you'll be thinking, okay, I'm not sure. Unless you're a really avid golf fan, you probably don't know this player. His name is Zach Ziglar. So the headline is, Zach Ziglar awesomely explained how second place finish at the PGA Tour event just changed his life. So he held the lead going into the third round of the Travelers Championship. He says, this writer says, I watch a ton of golf, and even I was like, who the heck is Zach Ziglar? So after doing some digging and then reading his post-tournament quotes about what it meant for him after finishing second in the PGA Tour event, I have a new golfer to root for because his story is pretty great. That was weird. That was a weird connectivity of my phone's on silent, but my computer is on. Oh. So anyway, that's what's going on there. Let me turn down the volume. So
I was wondering. I was like, "You got your phone off?"
I know. I turned my phone off, but I'm being
foul here.
Super efficient here and having all my devices here for this headline. Mm-hmm. So here's the deal. He had missed more than a year on the tour because of ankle and knee injuries. This was after he missed 11 out of 14 cuts in 2017. He had no money coming in. Things got tough. He spoke openly about having to take out credit cards. He ran up a ton of debt because he was continuing to pursue this dream of becoming a golfer. And he is a good golfer. He just wasn't winning anything. So the debt is not a problem now because he bounced back from a rough third round and closed his final round with 5 birdies on the back nine to surge all the way to a tie for second place with a cool $633,000 payday. So yes, he says, I don't know. It was like 2 months ago that we had credit card debt. So we don't have that anymore. So the headline here is he's taking this second place win as, oh my goodness, he's making something of this, right?
If you ain't first, you're last, right?
Unless you're winning $633,000.
Unless you win $633,000.
That sounds like a win to me.
Hey, I'll take tied for second all day long, right? There's so much inspiration and everything in this story. And one of the things that I took out of it as well is when he talked about it that that he and his wife and all them, went 7 months with no money, that they were in credit card debt, maxed out. Like I get the feeling they were at their last, that fork in the road. That something right and he hits it big and what I automatically came to my mind was the fact of his wife and thinking, what was she thinking? Where he's trying to be a golfer, right? Like who's all trying to be a golfer?
Yeah.
Right? Like think about it. Like it's one of those things that you want to be a golfer,
right?
But you're not making any money.
I want to be Michael Jordan.
We're in debt to our eyeballs. How many spouses will stick around and keep encouraging that to that point, right? Like how many are going to be there going, that is pushing it, which obviously she was, and obviously, but it's always that little end of the road thing that's like, how do you know when it's time to go?
To cut your losses.
This was fun, but I can't do this anymore, and when to keep pushing.
Well, did you know players are responsible for their own travel, food, and lodging, plus any arrangements they've worked out with their caddies?
Not most. I mean, most of them are not because,
they're
understand they are.
They're
just
so
sponsored.
Much money.
Yes,
But he was not a known entity.
Most golfers make $1 million plus a year just on their sponsors, not including if they don't win the thing.
So his wife was like, "Go ahead, let's keep trying."
Yeah, and now he's getting more of a well-known name because of this story and this getting per second. So he'll probably get a couple sponsors.
What I really like, and I think that's a great point about his wife and his family and figuring out when are we going to cut our losses and transition into a different career path.
Because that's a big dream to be a professional golfer.
Well, yeah. And we don't know if his wife was working too. She may have been kind of holding down the fort, financially and things like that, and maybe not traveling with him like many of the professional athlete wives do. But when I saw this, I thought it was interesting to think about how he is so honest. Instead of stepping into this and saying, yeah, that's right, I just got second place. Oh, yeah, $633,000. Because the rest of the world envisions if you're a professional golfer, you are living the highlight. So I really appreciate how he brings this himself and everybody else back to reality and saying, no, we have credit card debt. We opened up credit cards to finance this lifestyle. We didn't like doing it because I think that so many of us do aspire to have these so-called glamorous jobs and things like that and think, oh, that's going to be really great. Again, hearing, gosh, most golfers are millionaires. I want to do that. Well, he's being realistic with the public and not trying to put on airs and not trying
to pretend like he's just a giddy kid that oh my God, I'm like, get to eat.
Yes, yes. Yeah, and it wasn't like he was saying, oh, we're going to go buy all this stuff now, because he's like, no, we're just going to pay off this debt and continue working and continuing to hustle. So I'm curious, Heath, in your, business ventures and things that you've gone into over the years, have you ever do you have like a rule of thumb for when to sort of cut your losses? Like, okay, I've spent and spent and spent, and this isn't working, or I'll spend up to this point, and if it hits, then I keep going.
Only when you don't believe in it anymore. That's my biggest thing. Is like if you lose belief, stop, because you're not going to make it. Like if you personally lose belief in what you're doing and what you're going for, I say turn around, because you're not going to make it unless you believe. You have to have that belief and faith in yourself and what that is.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate on this, because I like that. Don't we all have some sort of self-doubt from time to time?
Yeah, but here's the thing is, like, when I started in the insurance business, like, my thing was, it's not like I loved the insurance business at first or anything about it.
Sure.
But I had a belief that I had something more to do, and there was nothing else out there for, like what was I going to go do? Go make minimum wage, go do whatever, go get a salary job, not make any money hardly because I didn't have a degree, I didn't have the education. I knew that it was going to take something in my own hands to do.
Okay.
And I only had about $150 to get an insurance license, and that's what I did. So, that was the belief. So it may not be the belief in that one thing, but you got to know that whatever that belief may be, because look, if you lose all self-confidence in yourself and you're trying to venture like golf, you're never going to make it. You'll never make it to the stage unless you learn to change your mindset and gain confidence in yourself, because you're not going to get to that level without it.
It makes me think, what kind of insane confidence is that?
Yes.
That you've been working for that many years and have not won, what in you makes you think that you're going to win? And I love that he has. I mean, he clearly has that. His it factor. His it factor is, yes, you're a good golfer, but the fact that he kept going, because how many in his position would have stopped?
It does make you wonder how much he had left in the tank, right? Like, could this have been his last tournament, or was this his last year that he was really going to pursue this, or what? I don't know if he's spoken publicly about that or not, but it does, like you were saying earlier, how long could they keep up this lifestyle? And I also think it's probably a good example of, it's not that one thing out there is not going to solve all your problems. I'm sure growing up, or maybe, as he was coming up in the ranks, he probably thought at some point, well, if I can just make it on the tour, I'm set, right? I'm good. And then at some point, reality hit him where it's not enough to just be on the tour. You have to actually then do something with that. And I've done it in my life, and I'm sure a lot of other people have, where they think, if I could just get this one thing, if I could get this one promotion, if I could get this one job, or if I could just accomplish this one thing, then I'm going to be set. And maybe to a degree you are, but there's follow-up there. You have to, and maybe it doesn't even solve the problem that you think it was going to solve, and it creates all new problems.
Sometimes it's not about creating or solving your problem as much as it is to looking forward to that next thing, right? Like, it's like I need that one more thing, and that's what keeps me driving. See, like I'm like that. It's like, okay, that one more little level of money, that one more level thing, and when I get it, my whole life is not predicated on that, right? Like, so I've found fulfillment in all parts of my life. So when I get to that one thing, and it's not what I'm almost not even expecting it to be this most glorious life, whatever changes as much as it is. It's just that stepping stone to shoot for.
You're celebrating the small victories,
Yes.
what I'm hearing you say. And that perhaps that's something he was doing behind the scenes. Like, okay, I didn't win or I didn't make any money, but I did beat this person who I didn't beat last time. Or, I don't know the golf terminology. My stroke was better, or, I was closer to the green each time, or something like that.
No, he was at his wits. He was at his end. I mean, that's why he was ready to be there. I mean, he was at that point of almost about to give up. And that's one thing that I know for sure that I've watched over and over. And for myself, I've watched it personally. Yeah. And for people like this is the greater the reward, the greater the struggle, the greater reward. So when you look at somebody like him and you think about his payday, he has given up a lot. I mean, you got to think about the emotional stress. Your family that you've put everybody in debt, and it's like how you feel like you're doing nothing but digging yourself
and
deeper.
Hanging out with a bunch of
rich people,
perpetually surrounded by people with money,
lots of
who have had tons of money and tons of success, and he was still hustling.
Yeah, you've got to understand that it's like a lot of people want to come in and want these want all of these big things, but they're not willing to give anything up to get it, and they always see these people that do that, but don't realize. Most of these people did not enter the golf world like Jordan Spieth, like a household name, tons of sponsors right off the bat made the tour. Okay, Jordan didn't have to struggle on the tour. Yeah, he had money from the get go. Nothing against him. It's just
that's
didn't.
His story.
But most of these people are like Zach here, and I think that all success stories in life are like a Zach. You have to be willing to look at yourself and realize. If you want those big things, if you want those next things, are you willing to give things up for it? Are you willing to go through that struggle? And understand that it's not anything against you. Everybody has to go through it. So you're not special enough to not have to. So you need to go through the struggle.
That's a delayed payment on years of sacrifice.
It absolutely is. And
you got to put up first.
That's part of the game. So we'll see you back in a minute on the second segment of Second Shot.
He makes up words, she translates them. Heath and Jenny host more of Second Shot, coming up on RNCN.
To all of my friends in the great state of Texas, if you have not taken advantage, I have a way to save you a ton of money. I have saved over about $3,000 in the last year, and I have no hassle. Go to energyogre.com, put in the promo code SECONDSHOT. Now listen, promo code SECONDSHOT, and you're going to get a free month just for signing up and saving a ton of money. So don't be crazy. Stop sitting around talking about is this the real deal, and go do it right now. energyogre.com, promo code SECONDSHOT, and a free month. Thanks. Go get it now. Run.
Ready, aim, fire. Second Shot is back for another round on RNCN.
So is the tincture thing a millennial thing?
Okay.
I thought that was like that's like your mom's generation thing.
It's an older person's. It's actually ancient. It's like legit. I don't know, like Ayurvedic. Essential oils are not new.
Yes, correct.
Essential oils are definitely not new, but I feel like it's sort of a millennial thing right now because it's become trendy and people are starting to learn more about it. And it just like all things, just like scrunchies, they're back. Do you remember what scrunchies, babe?
No.
Wait, are scrunchies back? I know what scrunchies are. I didn't know that they had come back. I guess I didn't know that they had gone out and then come back.
Well, for some of us, like I have a couple favorite scrunchies. I have this one that's
oh, you talking about the hair things with the colors?
Yeah. Because you can put your hair back and do your makeup or get ready and not have a make a bend in your hair. This is an essential quality in a scrunchie, but now they're sort of trendy again. But they were big like, in the 80s and 90s, and now they're back. I think essential oils, so we were talking in the break about how Heath and I don't know why we call it this, but we call it tincture it up. And we put our essential oils in our diffuser and put it there at night. And maybe you can hear a little bit of congestion in my voice. So we've been doing peppermint, and then I put peppermint under my nose.
See, I ain't putting it under my nose, but it smells really, those little oils coming from that stuff smells good going to sleep.
And Thieves, we've been working on our evening meditation and tincture it up routine. And Thieves Oil, which again is not like a new thing, it's been marketed as such, but it's an old blend that's known for, I hope I'm not saying essential oil experts, let me know if I'm totally wrong in this, but basically cleaning, fending off disease, fending off infections, things like that. Not trying to say it's going to like save you from having to go to the doctor, but it's a thing.
I feel like it's one of those things that on this next headline is what a lot of people order these like under. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What is Thieves Oil? Is that like a blend of something?
It's a blend, and people use it to clean. Like we have it as like a floor cleaner, cleaning solution. If somebody's getting sick, you can use it as sort of an immune booster.
Okay.
You want to be careful because not all of them can be ingested, or many of them cannot be ingested, and you don't want to put it directly in your skin.
You can clean your floors and drink it all at the same time.
Yeah, it sounds like a miracle.
Speaking of drinking, Americans spend billions of dollars drunk shopping every year, according to a new survey, and we just had to bring this survey to the Second Shot listeners. Okay, so here's the deal. This article has been all over, by the way. For some reason, we chose the one from Maxim, so here it is.
There you go.
If you have internet access and enjoyed the occasional drink or three, then you may well have indulged in some drunk shopping. But who does it and who buys the most? ThinkRuptor, a brand new magazine for tech entrepreneurs, created a slick infographic using data from an inaugural drunk shopping census to answer that burning question. According to The Hustle, the tech e-letter that conducted the survey of about 2,000 alcohol-consuming readers found that drunk shopping is a $45 billion industry in the United States. So, what are people buying while they're tipsy? You must know.
I don't know if we want to know. Can it be said?
It's more generic. Clothing, movies. That makes sense. I mean, both of those things. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm guilty of this, but if I was, probably clothes would be at the top of the list. Movies, games, tech. Events, like saying I'm going to go to the J-Lo concert. Like, yes, let's do it. I can see that happening. Software is at the bottom. Yeah, nobody's trying to buy it. Like, well, I think I need a new flash drive. Feeling really crazy.
Yeah. I would think like kitchen gadgets or something like that would probably
tech
be
gadgets.
high on the, I guess that
gadgets.
could be part of that. Yeah.
I have a close girlfriend who now has been working on HSN as a sales, like an on-camera sales person, and she was saying their late night stuff gets crazy hits. They do really well. late into the
I
night.
bet.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
maybe people have had a glass of wine or something. Oh,
I used to think that Ginny, all she did was drunk shopping until I realized it was just normal that we have nothing but Amazon boxes daily at the house. I'm telling you, if we 4 boxes a day minimum.
Yeah, I know the struggle. See, my wife works
Struggle's
from
real.
home. She doesn't drunk shop, but I think she like sleep shops. Like she'll wake up in the middle of the night and think I want this or I want that.
no, it's like, oh, I forgot. Like, we need tape for the moving project or
Yeah.
something. Yes, you totally wake up and then you're going to brawl over Amazon Prime.
Right. And so she works from home, so she catches all the packages. So I'll just come home and I'll see 4 open boxes, and I'm like, "What was this?" And she goes, "Oh, I just ordered a few things." It's never explained to me what it was,
And it shouldn't be.
It was just I ordered some stuff that we needed. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to trust you. Every now and then I'll catch it, and it'll be like a dress, or it'll be something else. And
Well,
you
she
know,
wants to look cute for you for date night, and there's no
fair.
crime in that.
That's fair. Look, I've never accused her of anything, or we'll have a new knife block that I didn't know we needed, or something like that.
Wouldn't you love to be hear those recordings of back in the day when you had to call just HSN or whatever, and with the late at night when somebody was getting something, calling to order, and the drunk person,
absolutely.
hey, I
Oh
want
my
some
gosh.
blue blocker sunglasses.
Oh, another hot tip: blue blocker sunglasses. I do have some of those, which I probably ordered on insomnia night. I've been working on my sleep routine.
Yeah,
I have been.
drunk shopping.
I have not been drunk shopping.
Internet
So-
has made drunk shopping, and Amazon has made drunk shopping super easy.
It's too
Before
easy.
we get into the second shots on this, I do want to just clear the name of wine drinkers everywhere, because I think that people would assume that the number one, alcohol of choice while drunk shopping would be wine. Is that what you two would assume?
I think so, and I don't know.
I would
if
have
this
said that
is,
a hard liquor.
Yeah, I don't know if this is just my stereotypes coming out, but yeah, you would
It's
think
stereotyping.
You
We're
would think,
stereotyping the rich
You guys are
women
stereotyping.
drinking
See,
wine.
here's the thing.
hanging
we do
back,
it sober
lounging.
during the day.
Right,
On
exactly.
the clock while we're working and watching our kids.
This is a completely rational decision. No
Yes.
alcohol involved whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it's 37% of people are using liquor, 34% beer, and 29% wine.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah.
So,
the
there
problem
you
is,
go.
is women are not the only ones drunk shopping. Men
Right.
are too.
Yeah,
Right.
it's true.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, those are the 7% buying tech.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this in terms of a second shot?
Well, I like the whole thought on it that you had as well, that just the influence in general around, because when you have influence around you, whether that's a good influence, a positive influence, or whatever, how it can truly affect your life, And so when you drink and you're under the influence, right, of alcohol, you do things differently than you typically would do. When you're under the influence of people in your life that are not good for you, you're going to do things and get swept up in stuff you typically wouldn't do. Same goes for the opposite of how good it can be for your life. If you're surrounded by people that you're under the influence of in a positive way, can do extraordinary things for your life. Would you agree?
100%. Yes, absolutely. And yeah, and I think we also, even if we don't mean for someone to be in our life, we look at them and see them and we let them influence us. I know this because I'm somebody who has to be cautious of myself doing it. So I'm not saying, oh, all of you are doing this and I'm not. I think we all can do this, and we let people influence us, and we don't know the real story behind whatever their experience is. So yeah, I think that this is just a good kind of take at, okay, yes, drunk shopping, haha, but also what are we doing under the influence of others because other people are saying this. Now I think that it works in the reverse as well. So people who, if we're on a certain path, but we look at another one and it is more of a positive path, trying to be more influenced by those types of people. Listen to more of that kind of content, read more of those types of books, hang out with more of those people at lunchtime. Like, when you're going
to those events that you go,
events.
oh, I'm not going, over and over, and go to them, meet people.
Even just, in your following of people on social media, or, just your daily circles. It can be like a virtual circle, or it can be an in-person circle. Even with, I try to be really intentional about the moms that I hang out with. And I love a mom that already has a couple of children, because she's like mentor mom. Like, she's been through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's got a couple kids, and she's like, oh yeah, Jenny, this is how this works, and this is how this works. And I love that, because I can sort of be influenced by her in a positive way and have her help me through my struggles. So that doesn't just work with work.
Well, and I think that when if you take a look around the things that are influencing you, your family, your kid, and all that, it's getting that changes, because what influences you matters. And that's kind of the old thing Zig used to say. I ain't talked about Zig in a while, have I?
You haven't, babe. And I actually brought up a John Maxwell quote to really make it a Heath episode.
Yeah, and you just about yanked my headphones off.
Sorry, babe. I got excited about I was going to bring up this.
You were influencing my headphones.
I was, sorry. Yeah. Bad influence.
Yeah. So Zig always said, what goes in your ears comes out your mouth. And I think that's so true. I really do. I believe that who you're around and what you do. But you've... here's the thing. A lot of people will say you're looking for something special, right? Say you want to find that perfect mentor or something. You have to go put yourself out there and get around the influence of those people, which there are all of these things, networking events and mixers and stuff that all these people are like, oh, I'm not going to that. That's going to be boring. Those are weird. Well, that's what it's going to take.
Mm-hmm.
The person that you're wanting to meet and be influenced by is not going to just magically show up at your doorstep. Not going to happen.
Right. They're not looking to influence. They're not looking to
when you look at other
work
people,
with people.
When you look at other people and go, oh look, they're surrounded by these people. I want to. They're lucky. They're surrounded by them. I want to be. Well, you have to get up off your butt and get out there and go have a chance to be influenced by them. They're not going to show up to your doorstep.
Mm-hmm. Almost like we're just letting the easy things influence us, like an apathy with regard to who we're around.
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, and it can be good or bad.
Yeah, I totally agree. So you tweeted this quote, and I just wanted to read it because I think it relates a little bit to this. It's by John Maxwell. It says, most people are willing to grow only enough to accommodate their problems. Instead, they need to grow enough to achieve their potential. So it's like, I'm just going to, I think, making enough money is like the simple way of explaining it, or the way that I heard this initially, like, oh, I just need to make enough to just pay the bills or whatever. But like, what if you just totally blew it out and you were able to help a ton of people and really donate to that charity you wanted to, or really,
start an international charity, whatever.
Yes, like any of those things. So I thought that was good. And in the vein of being influenced by people, I want to be influenced by that quote and really hear that and feel that.
Well, I think it's very important to understand, too, that if the people you want to be influenced by aren't real enough to understand and be honest about all the stuff, there's like I tweeted another one the other day that said, of course I struggle. I just didn't quit. Because all of us struggle. All of us go through our highs and lows in life, and all of us are going to go through our ups and downs with it. But luckily I know for like me and my wife, for instance, we have positive influences around us that when those happen, we can help pick us up. And I pray for that for other people too.
Yeah, definitely.
That you've got, but you know what? That didn't just happen because we woke up and we had good people around us. You have to get off your butt and get out there and make friends, people in areas and in spots and things that are essential to you and what you're looking for. You have to make an effort. It just doesn't happen. We'll be back in a minute on the third segment of Second Shot.
Now that's what I call ignorance on fire. More of Heath and Jenny still to come.
You guys have been listening to Second Shot and hearing us talk about it. You need to go pick up my book, Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. You can get it on Amazon in a paper book. You can also hear this beautiful voice of mine in audiobook style on Audible or anywhere you're going to get your audiobooks. Guys, this book took a lot of time to put into it, and I believe it can really be some life-changing stuff to help you on your path to success. And hopefully you're going to fail your way to success just like I did. Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. Amazon.com, Audible.com, audiobooks, paper books, everything. Get it, share it with your people, and I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Go pick it up today.
Kick off your boots or suit up. The choice is yours. Welcome back to Second Shot on RNCN.
Even before we get that, I just feel sorry for everybody in society at this moment.
Why?
Well, because my wife is mad about some stuff and agitated, and she is about to let them have it, and they can feel the wrath of you on everybody.
It's like, stop telling me, tell everybody else.
A whole string of black cats about to go off in the studio. Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, when somebody's asleep, just put them next to him and lie them. It's great.
Does anyone have a place I can stay?
Yes.
Anybody wanting to sublet their apartment?
I'm waiting for Brighton to just get a little bit older before I really start getting her.
No. Okay, so and I'm not a big person that has beef with people in general, right? Okay.
Crickets.
Okay, maybe I am.
Just kidding.
I wish
joking.
Zach was here because Zach would be like, Jenny, you're so nice.
I'm joking.
I love you.
I'm joking.
Well, at least I'm not like a public, yes, this annoys me.
You don't gripe about stuff.
I'm not like a griper.
You're not.
So here's the thing. We are in the new sort of digital age of people having, realizing that social media and getting their brand out there is how you get that's how you get attention and everything like that. It's like what TV news was, and still is to a certain extent in terms of getting the word out there. So we have been getting a decent amount of people emailing us, reaching out to us, sending direct messages, saying, hey, I've got a band, I want to be on your show. Hey, I've got a business, I want to be on your show. This one just said feature. Hi, and I'm not going to read this person's name because the point is not to call somebody out. It's to do some educating here if you're trying to get your brand out there. Hi, my name is blank. My wife and I own, this certain business. It is wonderful. We think that you should have us on. We would like to be on your podcast.
That was the whole email.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay. It sounds like this person has never actually listened to our podcast.
Right.
And so here's the thing. When you're doing a media pitch, and I only say this because I've worked in media for so long and dealt with so many different pitches, and I'm not saying you have to hire a big PR company because a lot of people do it very successfully on their own. Of course, a PR company will, send the email for you and have it perfectly crafted. But if you're going at it alone, I totally get that, especially for a small business until you build up. It's common sense to know the product you're pitching your item for.
Yes.
You also have to add value. So if
you have to add value
because otherwise that's an advertisement, and guess what? People pay for advertisements.
Yes.
People pay a lot of money for advertisements, and that is fine. And all podcasts are open to doing that. But when we have a guest come on the show,
we want them to bring value.
We want them to bring value. We want them to teach. The last couple of weeks we had an operation organization. She was giving step by step how to work through your email. She wasn't coming on there and just saying, "Hey, you should hire me," because saying that doesn't work. The only thing that works to get you hired is showing what you can do. You have to tell people what you can do. So when we're getting these pitches, I feel for these companies, and I'll often write back with a suggestion, but it's like, hey, even if you came back to me down the road, it's obvious that you're not trying to help the audience. You're not trying to help us. You're not trying to collaborate.
You just want to advertise.
You just want to use our platform, and our listeners and our viewers are worth more than that. Like we don't want to waste anybody's time. We want when people come here to get something of value. And so if you're going to bring something to the table and up level, what all of us are thinking about and learning, then great.
Just say there's some people out there right now that are listening that give some of the most common. Let's think about like two of the most common businesses that maybe you could help give what a pitch could look like. To something. Maybe it's an influencer they're wanting to meet or want to share their stuff, or it's a podcast, right? Let's just say they have a they have glasses. They've made their own stone glasses.
Like
Marisol, right?
Oh, like Marisol, our friend. Oh my gosh, you guys have got to follow. This is not paid. Well, it's ASTALUNA Creations.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've tagged.
So
her
if it's somebody that's like her that's having her thing, how?
Okay. So
what would be a pitch different than like this person?
Yes, than just saying I want
deal.
you to be on. Okay, so you've created these glasses. They're handmade. You want to think about who would actually use these. Who in the influencer space or in the podcast space or in the news space would actually use these glasses? Well, so that eliminates some people. So, some people are not 21, or some people are, they're more like homebodies. Who's really into decor? Who posts a lot about, their beautiful home setup and liking to entertain? Who is out a lot with their girlfriends? Who is really big on setting up a beautiful dinner for their husband or wife? Those are the people you target. Then you say, I noticed this on your feed, and I noticed these beautiful glasses, and you like to drink Vouv, and oh my gosh, how cool is that? I do too. I created these glasses. I'd love to send you some. So no strings attached.
Just sending them.
I'd like to send you some end. End of story. If you really want, it could, because you've targeted someone who you think will really like those glasses, and then they may come back to you and say, oh gosh, these are really cool. I'm having this, this actually happened with Marisol.
Yeah.
There was an open house coming up.
Yep.
And she was somebody invited her to come display her artwork at the open house to like-minded individuals. I think what's happening is people are just kind of throwing a bunch of things against the wall because they know they need media influencers, and they know they need attention in the media or on a podcast platform, but they're not taking the time to really think about what's going to be worth me sending something to them, or what's going to be worth me trying to partner with them.
Marisol's friends of ours, and she has never once asked us to talk about her business.
Right.
At all. Never
Right.
asked us to post for anything. Never asked anything, right?
Right. And as friends,
but
we've
you do
bought
it.
from her. But
Yeah.
she also gifted me some
But yeah,
around my birthday.
I mean, and so that's the thing is you got to put it up. So let's just say too, it's like here's another good instance I think for a pitch of getting used is these. Let's say a food truck or something, right? These people have a restaurant, they have a bakery, they have food trucks, whatever.
If you have a food truck, we will talk about you.
Yeah, let's.
Why don't you
send us
offer to
tacos.
come
Some up
cater
here.
something for free for them? Like, hey, let me bring lunch for one of your episodes. Let me bring da-da-da-da. Do something like that, and people are more inclined to do it. You can't just ask people, hey, I want to be on your show. Hey, can you post about this for me?
Yeah.
I'm going to say one more thing in terms of adding value. So say you have a clothing line. Here's another way to add value. You could just offer to go in and say, hey, again, like our podcast might not be the right space for this, but maybe there's a fashion industry podcast. Instead of saying, I want to tell you about my line, how about I am an expert in the fashion business, and I would like to talk about all fall trends. You can use your own line, you can use other people's lines, you can use, because you're establishing yourself as the expert. Instead of just saying, look at my clothes, you're saying, I want to talk about fall trends and what you can do to get the kids ready for back to school and to update your fall wardrobe for work, so that you're adding value, so people are actually learning from you. As a byproduct, they're probably going to like you and see your stuff and want to buy it if it's good.
It's just so lazy. And like, how many people have asked like to be on the show?
Or
like,
there have been food ones
that have been like, we can, I can call in and be on your show. And I'm like, have you ever listened to our show?
Yeah.
Obviously not, because
Don't do any
we've
call-ins.
never done that. So,
Although I'm trying to get myself to be a call-in next week.
but I mean, it's
as an
just that's
exception.
the most annoying stuff to me.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's
And
lazy.
We
It's
love
lazy.
the people who are, if you are, and we know if you're following the show and then pitching.
Yeah.
You
can
love
tell.
that. But if you know the style of the show, unless you have sort of an inspirational story or something motivational or something tactile for for our audience, then it's not going to make sense. So I hope that was at least helpful if you are trying to get your stuff out there.
Yeah, and I think people have. I think people learned this a little bit as time went on with the news media, although certainly not perfectly. I mean, I've probably told this story before on this show, but in my previous life, I was a producer for a political talk show, Afternoon Drive, so one of the big time slots in radio, and we would get pitches for things like, I'm not going to, I won't say it was specifically them, but say we would get pitches for Grapevine Wine Fest or something like that. And it's like, we're never going to do that segment because that's not what we do. If you'd taken a minute to listen to the show, you would know that like we don't do segments on doing a wine tour because that doesn't fall into our line. But I think people have lost this a little bit with the increase in podcasting because it just feels so casual. It feels so like, oh, it doesn't matter. We
Right,
can
like,
just,
come on my show, we'll come on yours.
yeah, whatever.
No,
like,
we have a really good following, and we don't want to mess that up by
Right.
bringing on people that are not serving them.
And you know what? You may be successful for some shows by just sending a bunch of stuff out, but the ones that really matter are going to treat you the exact same way as you would have been treated if you were approaching a professional organization, which is to say, do your homework, know what you're looking into, and then a little bit like our first conversation about the golfer. You got to put up first. You
Yep.
got to, it's not a matter of giving me something, but you have to prove your worth.
You
right? You have to
Grapevine
prove.
Wine
Yeah.
Festival should just show up to your show with y'all a whole bunch of wine, giving y'all wine.
It could there could have been something there, perhaps.
But even
Perhaps
still,
it
it's
wasn't the
not
right,
like-
but it wasn't the right episode. But I mean, like that
Yeah.
instead of just that pitch, it's like do that.
You guys can bring
that can
us
make more
wine.
of make more of a statement than anything else.
Right.
Yeah, I think just knowing your brand and knowing who you're after, and not everybody's for you, and that's okay. Don't just throw stuff against the wall.
We
It
had
feels
some giveaway-
self-serving to say that podcasting is serious business, but it is now.
Yeah.
And we take it seriously here. So yeah, if you're just speaking about us, if you're approaching us, do your homework. Treat it like you would anything else.
You better bring it. Okay, that's so not me. But yes, we had giveaways.
Yep, the last couple weeks.
So Miranda Coaching did a giveaway for a session. I obviously, she couldn't tell me how it went because it's a, confidential coaching session, but she said that it did go really well. So if it was you that got the coaching session,
send us an email. Let us know if you liked it.
Yeah, hear how it went.
secondshotcast@gmail.com.
And then we did Heath's book giveaway, and we got so many entries. By the way, all these giveaways are happening on the Second Shot Podcast Instagram page. If you want to follow along, we don't post a lot, but we do show updates and giveaways. So just Instagram.com/Second Shot Podcast. So we were going to give away 3 books, which I did as a surprise to Heath. He came on one day, and I was like, I'm giving away some of your books. Then we got so many entries that I gave away 5. So those should be arriving to all of you shortly.
I did like what y'all said on the live a while back, when it was like, hey, if you're so interested in this book, why don't you just go buy it? It's not that expensive. Like, come on, folks.
It's like $13 on Amazon, and it's really good. Or you can do the audio version. I think a lot of people are so busy, so they like to do the audio version. But if you've got a trip coming up or something and have some reading time, the book is called Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success, by my husband, Heath Oaks.
I would like to thank you, hon, for all the work you've done with the podcast. You're like constantly doing all the cool stuff and like on top of it all, and
babe.
Putting everything out there, putting the contest, and I never did any of that at all. And I'm so glad that you decided to say yes and come on the podcast full time and be like us doing it. Because I am not near as good at any of that stuff, and you are, and you do great at it. Thank you.
Well, like we said, if we're going to do something, we want to take it seriously and serve our people and just have it be legit.
I hope you all get black cats and scare the heck out of your partners. And I hope nobody gets shot with Roman candles.
Okay, everybody, you can find me hiding under the bed or at JennyandChando.com, Jenny and Chando on Facebook and on Instagram. And you can join the Second Shot Facebook group, by the way, too, and we talk about our giveaways in there.
You can find me, Matt Stoker1, on Instagram and in the Facebook group. And I don't know, maybe I'll post some videos of blowing some stuff up with fireworks. It sounds like a good time.
Can't wait. That'll be great.
At Heath Oaks at Ignorance on Fire, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of those good stuff. We'll see you next time. I love y'all. Bye.